Let's talk a little bit about device encryption. So why is device encryption important? As Don mentioned, there's ranges of encryption, but having encryption present is really important. Just as a for instance, there actually was a person from an insurance company who went to a football game in Detroit. And when he went to the restroom, he sat his phone down. And he didn't have it locked, and he didn't have any encryption on it. And whenever he left the restroom, he forgot his phone, and they actually ended up having a large data breach because they just whoever had the phone was able to access all his emails, any files that he had access to. So device encryption is so important. Something as innocuous as, oh, I left my phone in the restroom. Could cause something huge. So how do you go about doing that type of encryption? So we're going to talk about all types of devices. The first type we'll talk about are Apple devices. So if you have a Mac, encryption actually comes built in. So all you have to do, if you don't already have it turned on, is turn on File Vault. So you'll go to your security and privacy settings, go to File Vault, and then you'll click Turn on File Vault. And then when you turn on File Vault, it will actually, you'll be able to see your computer encrypting your data. It'll just be a little progress bar. And then every time you then turn on your computer, you'll have to put in your password twice, once for unlocking the computer and then once for unlocking the encryption. And you'll actually be able to, again, see a little progress bar, and it'll say decrypting data. So you'll see that it sits at rest in an encrypted state. So if somebody were to steal your Mac, your data would be encrypted. Now, with your iPhone, as long as you have iOS version 8.0 and up, and about 95% of devices do have iOS 8.0 and up, the iPhone actually encrypts as soon as you add a passcode or password. And the way to check that you have your passcode or password turned on, number one is whenever you open your phone, you have to be able to put in a password. And number two, if you go to your settings and then click on Face ID and passcode, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see this little sentence that says data protection is enabled. And as long as data protection is enabled, that means that your iPhone is sitting encrypted. Now, let's say you have a Microsoft device. So if you have a Microsoft device with Windows Pro on it, a Pro version of Windows, BitLocker is the encryption software that they use. So if you have a Windows machine that is the Pro version, all you'll have to do is go to the control panel, put in BitLocker, look up BitLocker, and then you'll just turn on BitLocker, and a progress bar will show, and you'll see that the device will now have the data sit encrypted. Now, if you have Windows Home and not Windows Pro, you are able to upgrade. And the upgrade costs anywhere between $100 to $120, depending upon the sales that they have going on at the time. But anyway, once you go from Home to Pro, then BitLocker will become available, and you can turn BitLocker on and encrypt your Microsoft device. And finally, if you have Android devices, if you have Android 4.4 or lower, under security, what you'll need to do is add a PIN and then enable encryption. If you have an Android device that is the OS 5.0 or greater, most devices are actually encrypted by default with a password. And all you have to do is, again, check your security menu to see that option. And so you'll just go to your security menu, and then you'll scroll down and it will say encryption's on. So as long as you see encryption on, your Android device is protected. Now, as kind of a bonus tip, one thing that can happen that you'll show data that it's inadvertent is if your phone is locked and your phone notifications show. So it's possible that you could have your phone out or on a table or with another client, and you could actually have notifications show on your locked screen. It might say you have an email from someone. It might show you the first line, depending. It can show you, all the text from an actual text. Depending upon your situation, you don't typically want other people to be able to see your notifications. So we recommend turning those off. And so that way your notifications won't be visible unless a password is entered. And so we will actually be sending out this presentation. So you have all these links, but the links on how to do that on an Apple device is right here. And the link on how to do that on an Android device is right here. Once you set that up, then if your phone is off or in locked mode, you will not get any type of notifications that show anything without your password being entered. All right, now that kind of leads us to passwords. Treat your password like your toothbrush. Don't let anyone else use it, and get a new one every 6 months. Thank you, Cliff.
Thanks for listening. And remember, I'm Don I, your insurance guy.